This is York's only local show on York's only local station. This is the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
Listen to your show every day. It's really good.
I have you guys on every morning to wake up to.
Gary Sutton, mornings 6 to 9 on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK.
All the things you're talking about are all things we're talking about. It's Main Street America every day.
And you're getting your money's worth.
You're a brilliant mind, tremendous experience. You're great for the community.
The Gary Sutton Show on York's first station, WOYK.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
Now, broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown York studios inside Wellspan Park, here's Gary Sutton.
And a potentially steamy good morning to you. I am Gary Sutton on a Tuesday morning, the 14th of July, 2026, live from Brooks Robinson Plaza here at Wellspan Park. I shared a little cough with you this morning. I got stuck on my words, and it happens from time to time, but it's great to be with you here. It's going to be a hot one today out there, so stay hydrated. Stay out of the sun if you have to, unless you have a golf match coming up at 9:50, and then you have to make room. Mark McKenzie here with you this morning. I am Gary Sutton, and coming to you live from Wellspan Park here at Brooks Robinson Plaza, where the Revs start a 6-game homestand tonight. Yeah, good night to get out to the ballpark, find a good seat in the shade. But the Revs riding high right now, tied for first place in North Division at 7-2. You can get your tickets today at the Shipley Energy office, right here at the Shipley Energy ticket office at Wellspan Park. It'll be open all day long. You can also go to YorkRevolution.com and get in there and come on out here and enjoy the action as get together with 3,000 plus of your closest friends and cheer the Revs on to victory. Our show being brought to you by Ann Stein & Sparler, attorneys at law and kindness worldwide. We are so pleased and proud to represent both of those organizations that are doing so much good for people. And our Back 9 text line is open for you right now at, what is the number on that, Mark? 833-478-4729, where you can take part in the show today. And I didn't get a chance to check the text line yesterday, so we'll have to look. Mark said it was clean yesterday, so we didn't miss anything. But get in there on our Back 9 text line and let us know what you think about what's going on and what we're talking about during the course of the show. Of course, the Back 9, where golf never sleeps, out there at South York Plaza, 259A Pauline Drive. And theback9golf.com/York-PA is where you go to find out about getting a membership there. Of course, when days get to be in the 100 degrees, maybe you'd like to go inside and play golf, but in air conditioning. And that's what they have at the Back 9, just a perfect place to play. So get on out there and take part at the Back 9. Our question of the day today, at Gary Sutton Show on Facebook, which is our basic main page, or Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. Is there really a need for an all-star game anymore? We have an all-star game coming up tonight in baseball. Is it useless? We were talking about that with Mark Hendrickson yesterday, and he and I kind of agreed that all-star games have kind of run their course. But we don't have one anymore, for example, in the Atlantic League here. So what do you think about all-star games? Do you think that the all-star game is useless? Your thoughts about that? Get in there at Gary Sutton Show on Facebook or Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and let me know what you think there. Today, it's interesting. It is National Nude Day, and it's also National Tape Measure Day. Now, I don't know if the two of those somehow go together. It doesn't seem like they should. I'm not going to go any further than that. But National Nude Day and National Mac and Cheese Day. Don't drop any hot mac and cheese if you're celebrating National Nude Day. You know, I just don't want to do that. And
ouch.
No. Ooh. But I've been watching this program, just a British program that came on last night with this guy, Gok. And I think it was filmed back in the early 2000s. The guy's real name is Gok Kwan. He's a fashionista. But he went out and helped women feel good about their bodies in over Great Britain. And it was called Do You Look Good Naked? And that's the name of the show. Now, it's not a dirty show. I mean, so he helps these women feel good about themselves. Like one woman had a mastectomy and didn't feel good about herself anymore, didn't feel like she looked good to her partner or anything like that. And this guy kind of helps her to look good, but it goes through nudity and all this. And it's really, it was an interesting show.
So he breaks them down to the skin level.
He helps them, yeah. And it's an odd show. But my wife and I were watching and said, this guy's kind of a good guy. And he's helping these people through a really tough time in fashion and all that. And they go into all kinds of different stories. It was a fascinating show. I'd never come across it before. Just happened to be going through some things the other night and came across this. And we watched a few episodes of it, and it was kind of cool. So, National Nude Day today.
Yeah, it's not as lascivious as you might imagine.
No, it's not something where you say, "Oh, it's a dirty show." No, it's
not the show.
Yeah,
the day, International Nude Day. It's not.
It's just.
You won't believe the.
Go ahead.
Where it came from.
Go ahead.
It came from this guy. He was a television presenter.
All right.
And a former rugby player.
Rugby.
Who dared people to, this was about 25 years ago.
Okay.
Dared people to streak in front of New Zealand's Prime Minister, Helen Clark.
Oh. Was there a particular reason that he wanted that to happen? Maybe
doesn't
like
get
her?
into, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
He
she was
had
not a
some
favorite of his.
Yes. So that's where the nude part comes in.
That is a deep dive, isn't it?
So it's not really.
No, it's not anything that we thought it would be.
Out of all but naturally it's spread around the world because this former rugby player is very powerful.
Well, where did National Tape Measure Day come from? I wonder.
Well, it's because it was invented on this date.
Well, okay. All right. Good. See,
but
we've cleared up all of this.
Let's not leave nudity out of this.
Oh.
There are benefits of nudity.
And?
Lower risk of Alzheimer's in people who run barefoot. It's believed that walking barefoot stimulates neurons in the brain.
Really?
You get higher levels of vitamin D in the body. That's because you have more skin exposed.
Wow.
And better circulation.
Okay.
Because you're not being restricted by clothing.
None of that.
I feel that way about pants.
Stop.
Anyway, facts about nudity. Let's see. Let's just pick one.
Okay.
In the United States, about 12% of people sleep in the nude. In the United Kingdom, it's about 30%.
Really?
I'm not going to ask.
No.
So
No.
I'm going to leave it alone.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
Now you're walking on the razor blade's edge now. Some people, they keep on saying it's very liberating sometimes. It's very liberating. I don't know if people feel that way or not. Maybe not liberating that people have to see you or me or whatever, but that wouldn't be liberating.
No.
It would be, whatever.
It's a limited audience.
Well, it is very much
So, macaroni and cheese day. How do you feel about
Is that, well, I know you have probably a Mackenzian look at this.
I do.
I have a friend named Rich Weeder who makes in my opinion, best macaroni, but he makes like 7 different cheeses in it. And it's amazing. And it has to be sticky. It has to be moist. It has to, it has to be gooey cheese in every bite for me. With a little crust on top, possibly some stewed tomatoes sitting to the side to help combine them together. How's that?
Oh.
I know. I just took you over the edge.
Oh my God, stewed.
He's getting ready to leave. I mean, he's getting up, getting ready to leave. Oh, stewed tomato. That was the greatest lunch I can remember in school. Fridays, stewed tomatoes and macaroni and cheese. You mix them together. Oh my gosh, they were unbelievable. That's a York County dish right there.
Actually, Southern as well. They do that in the South.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
You, however, do not do that.
No, I don't.
nor do you have much. A little bit of disdain I saw there.
Yes, and the packaged stuff is just terrible.
No, we don't do packaged stuff.
Yes,
No, no.
And to me,
Go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to.
Is your mother anywhere involved in this?
No. We've never had.
Well, you're Italian. Italians don't really do macaroni.
The only one would be. What is it? Carbonara, has some cheese in it, but they're not, the stringy stuff is on a pizza.
Well, the pasta, do you do like, those are like what, the little tube pastas, what are they called?
Rigatoni?
Rigatoni, yeah.
There's
Is that
a
what that
big
is?
fat one.
Yeah.
It's a big fat one.
What's the one they use for macaroni and cheese? Is that rigatoni?
Oh, you mean the little one in the box?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, what would you call that?
I don't know.
I think they grow that on trees.
Anyway,
yeah.
It is Chick-fil-A's Cow Appreciation Day. I mean, of course, that's part of their advertising,
Right.
And that worked out well for them. There were other things, however, that have happened on this date.
For example?
That would have impacted your life. Sorry for moving the microphone.
Okay.
On this date in 1570, this is especially important, I think, for Catholics, but it was Pope Pius V. He introduced the standardized Roman Missal, which was, and not the shooting missile, the text of the Latin Mass in a book. And they used that for how long? What do you think?
Well, I'm going to guess like 400 years.
That's exactly right.
There you go. I did not know that, but I guess well.
Up until
Just seemed
60s, 70s, somewhere.
Yeah.
On this date in 1789, the French Revolution begins.
Right.
They storm the Bastille prison in Paris.
Which makes today Bastille Day.
It's their national day.
Yes.
And actually, to coincide with that, about 6 years later, the French National Convention decreed that France's national anthem would be
What day?
Le Marseillaise.
Marseille. I couldn't think of the name of it. It was there on the tip of my
Close
tongue.
enough.
But yeah.
On this date in 1850, lots of things were invented in 1800s.
Okay.
First public demonstration of ice made via refrigeration.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a Florida doctor.
Okay.
It's interesting. His name is John Gorey, but there's no mention.
no gory.
None, yes.
Gory details about that at all.
Tape measure,
Sorry, did you get that gory
1868.
details?
Alvin, I let it go. Alvin
ran right on by it.
I did. Yeah. Alvin J. Fellows.
And it hurts.
Of New Haven, Connecticut. He
Yeah.
patented the tape measure.
No fellows.
The only Fellows I know is the one that writes
Whatever.
the turn of the century, the Gilded Age.
Yes.
Very popular. They made a couple.
The fact
of
that you have to
movies.
go this deep to
I
find
can't.
that.
I don't remember the name of it.
Good. Yeah.
1881, William H. Bonney Jr., better known as
He was a pirate.
Billy the Kid.
Billy the Kid.
He was shot and killed by Sheriff Pat Garrett.
Well, that was a cowboy, not
in
yeah.
in New Mexico.
Right.
On this date, 1914. Speaking of missiles, American engineer Robert Goddard granted the first patent for liquid-fueled rocket design.
Yes.
We didn't even. Who was firing rockets back then?
Of course, we have the Goddard Center today.
Yes.
For NASA.
A father of rocket engineering.
Rocketry.
1921 of his state, Nicola Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzetti, convicted of killing their shoe company's paymaster. They were sentenced to death in Dedham, Massachusetts. Lots of, there been a couple of movies made about that.
Yeah, Sacco and Vanzetti.
Yeah, so whether they were really guilty or not and all that. 1933 on this date, all German political parties except the Nazi Party
Right.
were outlawed.
Yeah.
Makes it hard to lose when you're.
It is. You're going to win a lot of elections after.
Yeah, it's some of them anyway. Yeah. On this date, 1940, due to beanball wars, which I've never heard of, but I guess they were throwing at each other. Spalding advertises batting helmets, the kind with ear flaps.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And you wanted to put those on there because you got hit in the head and the ear and all that kind of stuff. So,
This might be the biggest connection to something from the past affecting you today, especially those in our age group.
okay.
Because it was on this date, 1946, Dr. Benjamin Spock's book, Common Sense Book of Baby and Child Care, is published.
Was the book.
Everywhere.
Everybody had it.
Moms everywhere use that book.
The only thing close to a manual on raising your kids, because after a few months you figure out I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks that.
Sure.
On this date in 1966, I remember the Life magazine. They published pictures of this, and it was very shocking at the time. But a guy whose name has moved on in infamy, Richard Speck.
Oh, who killed the 8 nurses?
Yes, he raped and killed 8 nurses in a Chicago dormitory.
Disgusting. It
Yes.
was terrible. I remember reading about that.
On this date, 1969, Dennis Hopper, starring as himself, along with Peter Fonda and Jack Nicholson, in a movie called
Easy Rider.
Yeah, you might have heard of it.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to make this one the last one.
Okay.
On this date in 1988, a radio station in Tennessee offered $1 million to anyone who could prove that Elvis was still alive. And they did not pay.
Ah, there you go.
That's because it wasn't proved.
Thank you. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More than half of Americans are doing something less now than they were doing this time last year. We're going to share some of that with you when we come back, all here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK. A great song. It was back in the late 60s, early 70s, during a time when we saw way too many assassinations.
Anybody here seen my old friend Abraham?
This song was written, I think, was it Dion?
Yes.
After John and Robert Kennedy were assassinated, and of course, recalling Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
So Abraham, Martin, and John was the name of the song, and
There was another song too, and that's the one I was looking for that had the Bobby Kennedy version, and I don't know if this. See, do you remember the song
No,
I'm
I don't.
talking about?
I actually don't.
I'm gonna keep looking for that. I don't remember what it was called, but anyway, it had to do with the Bobby Kennedy assassination, as you were talking about.
Interesting, yeah.
And one of the people who was there, it's his birthday today. Rosie Greer, had a great career as one of the fearsome foursome.
The L.A. Rams.
Yes, he was, and he was at that.
He
event.
actually grabbed the gun from Sirhan during that time. In fact, one of the famous a guy was narrating. They were going through the kitchen, leaving after he had won the California primary, and was really now headed on probably to win the nomination in Chicago for the Democratic Party. And be their nominee for president. And Rosie Greer grabbed the gun, unfortunately, too late after Sirhan had shot Robert Kennedy in the head in that kitchen. He died. By the way, something we're doing less now this year than we were doing this time last year. I mean, remember when everybody used to have to update their status on social media? Have you noticed how it's taken a nosedive a little bit? Maybe some of you that do know social media, and we do it every day. A new survey from a privacy company found 55% of Americans say maintaining their social media presence now feels more like work instead of fun. More than half say they're posting less than they did 5 years ago. So not just a year ago, but 5 years ago. And many are being much more selective about what they share. Don't you think that's kind of part of the process where no one cares if you ran upstairs or came downstairs and ate your Captain Crunch this morning and all that. There are certain things you do that maybe you just say, oh, that's kind of interesting. I'll post that. I never was one that posted everything that I did in my life, but I do post certain things now as I am moved to do so. And I do like little podcasts. I remember when we started the show almost a year and a half or more ago, and I thought, man, we'll do like 60-minute podcasts or 30-minute podcasts. And I'm down to if I do like a 2 to 3 minute podcast on something, that's plenty. That's plenty. People don't need to hear much more than that. But the biggest reasons that people are pulling back in this article I'm reading are political arguments. They don't like that. People are tired of that endless doom scrolling and concerns about privacy. And those are all very legitimate reasons, I think, to kind of start to pull back a little bit. But the survey also found that younger adults are feeling the pressure the most, with Gen Z most likely to say social media has become exhausting. Exhausting. So maybe if we do update our status one last time, it should read, gone outside, be back, maybe never. Okay? That's from PC Mag this morning, and I just thought I'd share that with you, as I thought was an interesting little thing. Also, it's grilling season. How many of you grill? Well, July is actually National Grilling Month, which makes sense since it's midsummer. Although there are surely diehards who have no problem tossing on a jacket and a hat to stand by the grill in mid-January. I would be one of those. I like to do that every now and then. Now, according to a new report, Mark, the average American enjoys 13 grill days per year. I don't know how they figured this out, but that number is higher in Wyoming, Oregon, Michigan, and New Hampshire, if you care. And the states that grill the least are Vermont, Mississippi, and Hawaii, if you care. 84% of Americans say they'd grill more if they had more opportunities to, although 49% said they aren't 100% comfortable at the grill, which I don't quite understand. But now the top fears include grilling chicken, dropping meat through the grates, running out of propane, and cooking evenly so you don't end up with a burnt outside and a raw inside. Really, also people rank the biggest grilling sins. Here are the top 5. Touching another person's grill without permission. Yeah, I mean, next time you touch somebody's grill and you don't ask permission, man, you get in a lot of trouble.
Is that like touching a golf ball?
Yeah, you just don't do that. Not allowing the meat to rest before serving. Opening the lid unnecessarily. Do you ever watch someone who opens the lid up and down? You go, stop it. Let it grill. Get away from it. I've never done that to somebody else, but backseat grilling, which is what that would be, like being a backseat driver, someone who's hanging out in the background with plenty of opinions on what the griller should be doing. Shut it down. Not needed. I'm grilling. I'll take care of it. You sit over there, have your drink. We'll talk about anything, but don't be helping me with my grilling. I don't want to hear it. And pressing down on a burger with a spatula. People, just don't do that. And that's out of Talker Research this morning. What's your number one grilling pet peeve? Some others would include cooking in an oven and then finish it on the grill. That's kind of a cheat. Timing the cook by an arbitrary time rather than using a thermometer or checking the middle. Barbecuing anything straight from the fridge and not holding a cold beer while you're doing it. I mean, those are all things that you could get in trouble with on your grill. So just a thought this morning there, Mark.
Just a kind of. There were two other birthdays I wanted to mention.
Yes.
One is actor Matthew Fox. Did you ever watch Lost?
I think I watched it once, maybe twice. Yeah.
Yeah, he was on another TV show, so a lot of people know who he is, but I can't be one of them. And Conor McGregor, who was in a fight over the weekend, and I think
he got beaten seconds.
Yes, ripped his ACL, so he's going to be out for a while.
Well, I think he's pretty much done anyway.
And I did find that song.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Well, I thought it was the one I played, but it's actually another song about, decrying violence and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And what they did was they matched the song, which had been a hit a couple of years before, as you pointed out, the assassinations in 1968. And he added other sound. Now, I remember this song where I was living in Rhode Island, and it did get played up there. And of course, it's Kennedys are very strong in New England, so it was very heartfelt there, but maybe not here. So I thought it was an interesting song, and maybe we can play a portion of it when we come back after the news.
We will look forward to that here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK, where it is 8:30 or 6:30. Excuse me.
What is segregation?
I don't know what segregation is.
What is bigotry?
I don't know what bigotry is.
What does hatred mean?
I don't know what it is.
What is prejudice?
I think it's when somebody's sick.
Rise and shot, boys.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This was What the World Needs Now in the background. You can hear it, but there was a cause song. I mean, people are all the various things that were occurring, the Vietnam War, the race relations, all kinds of things going on there. And they had these pictures while they're, playing What the World Needs Now in the background, which was kind of a universal song.
Right. And the name of the artist was Tom Clay. And this was
the videos.
Body.
Mayor Yorty has just sent me a message that we've been here too long already. So, my thanks to all of you, and now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there.
Senator Kennedy has been shot. Is that
So this is all in the record.
Yeah.
Anyway.
A guy named Tom Clay did this. I had forgotten who the artist was, but
Never heard of him again.
No.
But, it was an interesting mix between, and every once in a while these songs would come up.
Yeah.
I did a couple of them out of the news department. I wish I had access to them. I remember doing one for after we won the first Iraq War using Michael McDonald's Sweet Freedom.
Right.
And that was a more positive one. But
right.
They've been done over the years using news actualities and music.
I saw an interesting thing, and we'll ask Patrick about this tomorrow. But Patrick Ball, a little bit in the news here. You remember last week we talked about Catherine Wallen of Cumberland County said she's putting potential legislation out there that would take away the right of, like, for example, York to use the York State Fair. And she said there should only be one state fair, and that would be the Pennsylvania Farm Show. And she wants to do a thing where York, for example, couldn't use a state fair. I think Carlisle's another one that does that. And so her plan to introduce legislation that would prohibit fairs in Pennsylvania from calling the events a state fair has drawn a strong reaction from Patrick Ball, CEO of the York State Fair. He told Fox 43 the potential legislation proposed by her could wind up costing his organization hundreds of thousands of dollars. And now I was interested in that. And I thought about some of the reasons, and they're borne out here. Formerly known as the York Fair, the organization rebranded itself as the York State Fair in 2020. The same year, it moved the event from September to July. Now, the 2026 run of the fair kicks off on July 24th and runs through August 2nd. Patrick said that the York State Fair's name is trademarked, and it cost a significant amount of money for organizers to change the fair's signs, website, logos, and merchandise to the new name. And there would be significant cost to rebrand, he said, regarding the idea of being forced to change it back. In a memo to her colleagues proposing the legislation, Wallen said the bill would, quote, keep all fairs across the state on the same level and not allude that they are recognized as the official state fair of Pennsylvania, unquote.
Is there a problem? She sees this as a problem.
Apparently, there are not other things that are more important than this. But while she did not mention any specific fairs in the memo, obviously the York State Fair and the Carlisle State Fair are the only two events in Pennsylvania that refer to themselves as state fairs. So you don't have to go very far. The Carlisle State Fair, a 9-day event that wrapped up last week at the Carlisle Fairgrounds, was organized by an independent promoter who rented the fairgrounds to hold the event.
You know, I've been here a long time, and I don't think I've ever heard of the Carlisle State Fair.
No, I went by it the other day, by the way, on the way out to Mount Union. But the Pennsylvania State Association of County Fairs, which the York State Fair is a member of, recognizes 107 fairs in the Commonwealth. I did not know that. The Carlisle State Fair, according to Ball, is not associated with the PSACF, the Pennsylvania State Association of County Fairs. In her memo, Wallen said the annual Pennsylvania Farm Show, held every January in Harrisburg, is the only event that truly has claimed that title of Pennsylvania State Fair. Patrick told Fox 43 this past Friday that Wallen's office had not contacted the York State Fair prior to releasing the memo, which was circulated on July 7th. Of course they weren't. He also pointed to examples of fairs around the country that use the State Fair moniker. Idaho has 5 fairs with State Fair in their name. Texas has 3, while Illinois and Oklahoma both have 2. Doesn't seem to be a problem. World peace does not seem to be threatened. I don't know what the problem is trying to be solved here, Ball said. Wallen's office did not respond to Fox 43's request for comment. Of course they didn't. So there you go. A little story.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Could you tell what side I'm on this?
Well, but I mean, it really. It doesn't sound like it is a problem.
It's not it's a solution looking for a problem.
And everybody knows that the one in Harrisburg, it's the Pennsylvania Farm Show.
Sure. I mean, no one's out there going, "Oh, what are you doing?"
Right.
Well, you know what they need?
What's that?
They need some sacred water.
Sacred water.
Have you seen this story? This is unbelievable. Grocery prices are still a pain. But if someone told you that a place was selling a cup of water for $12, you might wonder if nothing is sacred anymore. Okay, remember when they started selling water and you go, "You're selling water?" I mean, what happened to the water fountain? Come on. Anyway,
big business.
When was the last time you saw a water fountain, by the way? Anyway, the luxury grocery chain Erewhon, Erewhon, has started selling cups of, ready for this? Get ready, Mark. Quote unquote, sacred water.
Oh, what makes it
sacred? Water for $12 each. It's not regular tap. It's water plus ice plus add-ons.
Oh.
So obviously I'm going, okay, what are we talking about here? If you're not sold yet, check this out. Sacred Water is a partnership with a company that makes showerhead filters. But the precious add-ons are not the gunk that gets trapped in showerheads. No. Erewhon describes the drink as a clarified herbal tonic infused with organic jasmine tea and botanical extracts, served as a refreshing elixir poured over ice. That's Sacred Water. The listed ingredients are coconut water, jasmine tea, raw honey, holy basil, anise hyssop, green cardamom, white grape juice, and coconut milk. Naturally, a few people were intrigued.
That's not water.
Intrigued. No, it's not. But many more are roasting it. One person said, sacred water, more like shower water. If you care, the showerhead brand is Jolie, Jolie, and Erewhon also carries their products for around $170. So for $200, you and your partner can improve your shower filtration and each grab a glass of fancy water, right? Yeah. I don't know.
Do you drink any of those waters?
No.
Like Smart Water and
no,
the one that comes to mind.
I just drink water.
Water.
I mean, it's just water.
Tap's okay with you?
The tap is fine. Put in a little bit of ice. I'm good.
I've had a couple of different kinds over the last year. One of them, I believe it's called Saratoga, which is from the New York Spring.
Sure, Saratoga Springs. Yeah.
And it's in a blue bottle. And I can't say that I detect any difference, but I feel better.
Well, I saw something here. The top 5 special powers that Sacred Water better give us for $12 a cup. You know, if you're paying $12 a cup, there better be some special powers.
Yes.
For example, the power to always know if a door we've never encountered before is push or pull. I want to have a little bit of advanced knowledge on that, so I'm not standing there for half an hour working it. The power is to always stick to our grocery list, even when we're hungry. Yeah. No. The power to make our dog poop right away when it's raining. Now, go out, don't walk around.
Right.
Just get out and take care of things, get back in. The power to self-clean our teeth when we're already tucked in bed but forgot to brush. The power to only hit Costco when it's not crowded.
Good luck.
The power for our shoes to never stick to a movie theater floor. The power to always look good in hotel lighting. The power to never. Oh, no, forget the power to avoid the same road as Tiger Woods. You'd want that kind of advanced power. The power to overturn World Cup red cards. You know that. Those are the things that we want that special sacred water to help us with as we go through life.
Well,
Amen.
The word is that we're socializing less.
Really? What do you mean?
I don't know how that's possible.
I know.
But let's find out more.
Americans are spending less time socializing than they did 20 years ago. A new analysis found the average time spent with friends and others has dropped from about 45 minutes a day to just 35 minutes. The biggest decline is among 15 to 24-year-olds, whose daily socializing has fallen from about an hour to roughly 35 minutes. Researchers say more time spent on smartphones and streaming, along with the rise of remote work and fewer public gathering places, appear to be driving the trend. The findings come from the federally funded American Time Use Survey, which tracks how Americans spend their day. Gianna Gelosi, Fox News.
Is that surprising to anybody? I mean, I watch the average 15-year-old, and although I've seen some kids out of our club and so forth who socialize, they're good kids, and they do that. I did see something here, kind of along the same lines, but not really. We can't get through a day without AI, an AI story. So a staff writer for The Atlantic did a story on how AI is already breaking our brains down. And there's clear evidence we're not thinking for ourselves as much as we used to. Here are a few techniques to try if you want to prevent it. Okay, so if you want to think on your own, you want to get away from AI, number one. Okay, here you go. Ask for hints, not answers. People who ask AI to directly answer their questions suffer severe declines in motivation and ability.
Wow.
But people who ask AI for background thinking or clarifications do not. That's what we kind of do here. We ask for clarifications. And number two, start with a blank page. When you want to take on something, write up your own analysis and conclusions. Then ask AI to challenge your thinking, not produce it. Okay, so come up with your own stuff. Then say, well, do you have any thoughts on additions to this or something I might have missed? Number three, rotate tasks. Every time you do a task with AI, follow it with a task that doesn't involve AI. That's kind of a cool one. That will keep your creative effort muscles alive. And finally, number four, make a sharp distinction between rote work and creative work. Let AI write quick emails. Don't let it write your essays or your memos. That's for The Atlantic this morning. And I thought those were four pretty good things to get away from not letting AI dominate your life and make you dependent on it the whole way, because it's very easy to do now as, more and more stuff becomes AI relatable, I guess.
I don't know if we're getting older or younger, but there's one set of businesses that is beginning to fade, and it's, I hadn't really paid any attention to it, but I guess, for those of us who are up before the crack of dawn, I'll have to pay a little bit more attention and see whether this is true. Do you think that all-night businesses are going away?
No. I didn't.
Well, the convenience stores are open.
Right.
But they used to have other stores open overnight.
Well, I think with COVID, we saw a disappearance of a lot of the 24-hour mentality. Mm-hmm. I do think that. Yeah.
And we can learn more about that. Also, no new ideas in Hollywood, and I can prove it again.
Right around the corner here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK, where it is 6:49 on a Tuesday morning. This sounds like Bruce Springsteen.
It was his, probably his first big hit.
Yeah.
Maybe bigger than Born to Run. And he looked so young there.
Yeah, he did.
And then he pulls up on this video, he pulls up a young lady from the audience, and it just happened to be Courtney Cox.
Oh, really?
Remember from Friends?
Yeah.
Yes, I think it was before she got that role. So
there you go.
I got lucky.
There it is.
1984.
Yep. Be careful out there today, by the way. And, maybe this strength conditioning coach at Bucknell University would have said that he was charged in the death of a freshman football player.
Oh, no.
He's a former strength and conditioning coach at Bucknell University. Former is the key here. Was charged Monday in the death of a football player who collapsed during training, according to the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office. Calvin C.J. Dickey Jr. was a freshman training in July of 2024 at the University of Pennsylvania when Mark Kulbus told him and other football players to do 100 up and downs along with some full-body plank drills, according to the Attorney General's office. Dickey had sickle cell trait, a medical condition that can increase the risk of serious injury or death following extreme exertion. Dickey, who had been recruited to play lineman positions at the university, started struggling and passed out, according to the Attorney General's office. Kulbus was the only coach in the training room, according to the office. Dickey was taken to the hospital, died 2 days later. The Attorney General's office said an autopsy found that his death was caused by the exercises along with his sickle cell trait, body weight, and exertional, and a long word I don't think I can pronounce, rhabdomyolysis, a rare but life-threatening condition in which muscles can break down from overexertion or other causes. Kulbus had been told about Dickey's medical condition and received training from the school on it, according to the Attorney General's office. Kulbus had been charged with felony aggravated hazing and misdemeanor counts of involuntary manslaughter, reckless endangerment, and hazing. According to the Attorney General's office, bail was set at $10,000. His lawyer did not immediately respond to an email from the Associated Press. The facts show this was an intentional, deliberate hazing perpetrated by a coach who knew CJ's health condition, made him vulnerable to extreme workouts, PA Attorney General Dave Sunday said in a statement. The facts show this defendant received information about CJ's health condition along with training about NCAA anti-hazing standards and disregarded that information. So there you go.
Hey, other health news. This one has to do with birth control.
The study finding women who use Depo-Provera and 5 other birth control medications face a higher risk of developing a slow-growing brain tumor known as a meningioma. Depo-Provera maker Pfizer is facing hundreds of lawsuits, claiming that the pharmaceutical giant was aware of the potential risks. Depo-Provera contains synthetic progestin hormone, and it was found to have the strongest link with the meningioma tumors. It's used by roughly 1 in 4 sexually active U.S. women. The Danish Medicines Agency looking at 25 years of health data from some 3 million women in its study. And the findings are published in JAMA Network Open. Sue Guzman, Fox News.
And this next story comes to you from Bedford, Maine, which happened in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers shot a driver to death in a coastal town of Maine on Monday, less than a week after an ICE agent in Houston, Texas, shot and killed a man in a traffic stop during a deportation crackdown there. Commenting on Monday's shooting nearly 12 hours after the fact, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security said an ICE officer, fearing for public safety, opened fire on the man when he attempted to flee agents trying to stop his vehicle. The Reuters Daily Briefing newsletter had that one. The DHS statement made no mention of how the driver might have posed a threat. The encounter occurred around 7 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at Bedford, Maine, about 15 miles south of the state's largest city of Portland. DHS, the parent company, or parent agency, of ICE, gave few other details except to say that the agents involved there, quote, conducted targeted surveillance on the last known address of an illegal alien with a final order of removal, unquote. According to DHS, quote, an illegal alien departed the residence in a vehicle with ICE officers in pursuit. The agency did not say that the person seen leaving the residence was the same individual whose address was under surveillance. DHS said the Bedford Police Department and the FBI responded to the scene. Immigration advocates said the person was shot. Person shot was a 26-year-old Colombian man who was authorized to work in the United States and had a Social Security number, though they did not name him or say how they were able to identify him. Quote, "This is devastating, enraging, and unacceptable," unquote, the Maine Immigrants' Rights Coalition and Presente, Maine said in a statement. So we'll wait and see what comes out of that. Again, another one of those situations that you hate to see end that way.
And on a ridiculous note, I've often pointed out to you that, Hollywood doesn't have any new
No new ideas. No.
They just rehash the old stuff. And here's another point.
Netflix is rolling the dice. The streamer has greenlit a competition series based on the classic board game Monopoly. Netflix says, quote, "On a life-size Monopoly Town Square, 12 players will enter on equal footing. To survive, contestants must accumulate everything or lose it all. One by one, bankrupt players are eliminated until a single winner is left standing to take it all. It's set to premiere sometime next year. Monica DeLuca, Fox News.
Life size.
I tell you what, really? That's it? That's the best we can do?
That's the new twist.
I know. And as always, But by the way, Buc-ee's is on a rampage right now, and no mascot is safe. James Sanders is going to talk about that article that appeared in the Wall Street Journal. If it sounds outrageous, it probably is, and James will pick it apart when we come back next hour here on the Gary Sutton Show. Still out ahead today, we'll have Lynn Bergdahl in the next hour about a very famous Yorker who left York is coming back. Coming up on the weekend of July 24th. We'll get into some of that. We've got Seth Leonard, who's going to be here today, who is the head basketball coach of Central Dauphin High School. He's a Yorker. And they won the state championship this year, but he's going to tell you about a very special event that's coming up later in August. He'll be with us this morning as well, all straight out ahead. That'll be about 8:35 here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK. But first, we need to take a news break at the top of the hour. WOYK news time is 7 o'clock.
This is York's only local show on York's only local station. This is the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
Listen to your show every day. It's really good.
I have you guys on every morning to wake up to.
Gary Sutton, mornings 6 to 9 on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK.
All the things you're talking about are all the things we're talking about. It's Main Street America every day.
And you're getting your money's worth. You're a brilliant mind, tremendous experience. You're great for the community.
The Gary Sutton Show on York's first station, WOYK.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
Now, broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown York studios inside Wellspan Park, here's Gary Sutton.
Did you ever have a day like that where you said, we're going to need a bigger boat? Yeah, it just, a project came up and it was more than you could handle. You know, so you become like the guy in Jaws says, you know, when you see the size of that shark, you're going to need a bigger boat. Yeah, that's the way it is every now and then with us. But you know what? We always find a way to get rid of the water, knock the shark off board, and move on. That's what we do here on the Gary Sutton Show on a Tuesday morning, where it is the 14th of July, 2026. Mark McKenzie here. Erstwhile Mark McKenzie at the microphone.
Still trying to think about the macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, he's been. I've seen him, and you know, I hate when he gets like this because he's in a quandary. I can see him sitting over there, and the steam's coming up, and he's going, you know, I don't know. I just don't know.
I have made the box for my kids. You know, the Kraft macaroni and cheese, even the knockoff.
Little hypocrisy there,
and you know. I have also. Have you seen the?
I bet you probably felt guilty when you were doing it too. Yeah,
I did.
Yeah.
And
what am I doing feeding this swill to my kids?
Have you seen the little cups? They're from Kraft makes them, and there's a few others.
Yeah.
What's the cheese? It's
allegedly.
Yellow. Yeah, right.
Yeah, allegedly.
What is that called? Velveeta. Velveeta also makes one.
Yeah.
And you know, you stick it in the microwave, and then you put the goo in after you've cooked the macaroni. And you know, it's not the worst thing I've ever had.
No, but it's
maybe put a sardine in
not,
it.
No, it's not homemade anyway.
Stewed tomatoes.
Oh, yeah, stewed tomatoes. I'm just telling you.
Now, my wife used to do that.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you don't have to tell
I mean, Mark, I said stewed tomatoes this morning. You'd have thought I said, you know, let's go destroy our studio here. Mark, the look of disdain, the loathsome.
It's not even. It shouldn't even be a food. They should not stew tomatoes.
I said macaroni and cheese and stewed tomatoes. Now, I would dare say most of you out there are on my side. You know, let me know. 833-478-4729. You can text. Is it Gary? You know, stand up for stewed tomatoes and macaroni and cheese. One of the greatest dinners you would have in high school at the cafeteria on Fridays. Macaroni and cheese and stewed tomatoes, because you didn't eat meat on Fridays a lot, because Catholics, and so you had fish, but you had macaroni and cheese and stewed tomatoes, which was their way of getting out of having to worry about putting beef or cheese or fish on there.
Right.
Macaroni and cheese, stewed tomatoes would be your next little cubicle there on your little plastic plate. Remember that?
I am.
The macaroni and cheese would occupy the big space. The little side space would be the stewed tomato, so you could kind of put them over on top of your macaroni and cheese or put the bites together. Unbelievable taste. And it's still around today.
I'll bet.
I'm serious. Now, see that? There you go.
I'm profile.
I know you are. Anyway, welcome back. Great to have you on this show. All brought to you by Kindness Worldwide, which we should have a little more kindness in this room when it comes to macaroni and cheese and the stewed tomatoes thing. Be the good, see the good, go the extra mile. And, of course, Anstein and Sparler, attorneys at law, 117 East Market Street, New York, where their primary areas are estate planning, estate administration, family law, elder law, municipal law, even military law. Check them out today. They've been around since 1937. Give them a call at 717-846-8811 between 8:30 and 5, Monday through Friday. Tell them Gary Sutton proudly sent you. Our text line is the back 9 text line, 833-478-4729. You can tell me, Gary, please keep standing up for macaroni and cheese and stewed tomatoes, because Mark has no clue, being a New Englander, how important that is to the South Central Pennsylvania Food Fair, Faire. And then
Ask
finally,
James.
Yeah, thank you. And then finally, our question of the day, is it time to get rid of the All-Star game? I mean, is this not the silliest thing in the world? I mean, what is useless? You got a player that's halfway through the season that you're naming an All-Star. I mean, the guy could suck after that. And why not at the end of the season just name him, put him on a list, and let it go at that? I mean, even the NFL's down to like, touch football or flag football or whatever it is now. I mean, they realize how stupid those games are. Nobody plays hard. Come on. Let's get real about it. But there are a lot of people who still think the All-Star game is a rite of passage for summer. With that, we turn this morning, ladies and gentlemen, to James Sanders, who has an equally interesting story here this morning on the Gary Sutton Show. Good morning, James. How are you?
I don't even know where to start.
I know.
Tomatoes, All-Star game.
All right, first of all, let's tackle the most important thing. Macaroni and cheese, stewed tomatoes. Please tell me.
It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Jeez.
There you go. From a guy who you were brought up here in Central Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You've lived in New York. Was this not like one of the greatest Friday meals at your school that you ever had?
Well, I mean, great and school and meal. Those three words don't typically go together, but that's right up there with toasted cheese and tomato soup. It's the same concept, right?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad that I have someone who just jumped in with both feet here. Mark is not quite cowering in the corner yet. He's not listening. Yeah.
Outside of Friday, if you put a little ground beef in there too, I mean, it's like a ragu.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was one of my other favorite ones. The macaroni and cheese with tomato sauce and the beef. That was another of my favorites. Yeah,
absolutely.
You give me one of those. Give me a corner somewhere. I'm happy. I'm a happy guy. So anyway, I'm glad. Again, proving your knowledge here. I mean, you just amaze me. You have a story this morning that is. I don't even know what to do with this. I did. I read the whole thing. Buc-ee's. And if anyone's ever stopped at a Buc-ee's rest stop, I guess that's what you call it, is on a rampage, and no mascot is safe right now. They're kind of a Midwest, South kind of outfit. But tell us the story, because this is too good to be true. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what caught my eye with this, obviously, we live here in kind of the mecca and the convergence of some major chains between Rutter's, Wawa, you got
7-Eleven,
Sheetz, obviously, and Royal Farms.
Right.
Now, I saw this Buc-ee's coming up, and they're coming into Ohio, and they're fighting against, and I can't believe Mickey's got away with their name for so many years.
Right.
But that's a whole nother story. But they're coming up into Ohio, and what they're saying is, our beaver, cartoon beaver,
Buc-ee's beaver,
is confusing to those that are going to Mickey's, which is a cartoon moose.
Right.
And I'm sitting there scratching my head going, geez, I don't quite understand this. And apparently it was triggered by an online comment that was made saying, hey, are these two affiliated? And that's what got Buc-ee's all spun up. Now, I still don't quite understand the whole basis of the lawsuit here, but it's certainly garnering a lot of opinions online.
Oh.
And you have a federal lawsuit coming through here, and I don't know whether I've talked to people that have actually lived in this area,
right?
That said, hey, I'm going to go take a trip. I think it's down to Virginia to go check this Buc-ee's out. I'm going, what is so incredible about this place? I just don't get it. But
well, it apparently has pristine restrooms. Apparently has a lot of parking spaces. They have a nice selection of foods. But apparently they're trying to knock out all the rival mascots in the area, including an alligator, a duck, and chickens. And this moose, or Mickey the Moose, which is an institution, by the way, across northern Ohio, has been for some time.
Yeah.
And so some people are mad at Buc-ee's because they're trying to knock out Mickey the Moose. We're serious about this, ladies and gentlemen. This is not everyone I know that has discussed it and looked at the two logos, and that's BS, said Chad, and ready for this name, Chad Dinger, a fiber optics engineer who lives outside of Columbus. He used to stop at Buc-ee's to gas up and get a brisket taco. That's something that they're known for, a brisket taco, he said. On a recent road trip through Kentucky, he saw Buc-ee's and kept on driving because he's mad about Buc-ee's trying to wipe out some of these things like Mickey the Moose. And I'm trying to say this without laughing. Apparently, there's a friendly cap-wearing beaver with a goofy smile that is the trademark enforcement, the mascot of Buc-ee's. That is slowly taking out cartoon animals one by one, trademark attorney Alice Dennenberg wrote in an online post. Apparently, Mickey the Moose has a similar posture there. It looks to the right, and it kind of looks like Buc-ee's. So this sounds like the ultimate silliness, but I don't know. Is it really, James?
I don't know if it's necessarily the ultimate silliness, but it's distracting the attention of the owners of Mickey's, because Buc-ee's is the one that's the antagonist here, number one. Number two, it's certainly, if you think about it, right, it's spinning up a marketing campaign for them. Now, granted, it's costing them a lot of dollars from a legal sense,
right?
But it's getting their name out there. And ultimately, and this is why I think it's important, they're up in Ohio. They go east. Guess what they're hitting? They're hitting Sheetz. They're hitting Wawa. They're hitting Royal Farm. Like, they're basically saying, hey, knock, knock, we're here. We're coming, and if we go right, this is what you can expect. So gear up, because we may come compete with you. I don't know whether that's going to be the case or not. Certainly Wawa made their moves down to Florida, Virginia. Sheetz is moving down that way. Rudders is moving out west. I'm not speaking for any of them, but there's certainly a big marketplace out there. And I was surprised. I went and I looked and I said, how big is Buc-ee's? And Buc-ee's has, 55, 60 stores nationwide versus, a Wawa has over 1,200 stores.
Wow, right.
I mean, so we're talking about, size-wise, the sheer number of stores. Wawa is huge, and Rudders is bigger than, in terms of
Rudders has got a lot of stores. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, 90-plus stores. So all I'm saying is be ready, because I think Buc-ee's is definitely, because we have so many different highways and so many different travelers coming into our region. Watch out, because I'll bet you they're going to make a move up into the Pennsylvania market.
Well, and I'm wondering, if they do, how many people maybe would accept them into the array of markets that we have. That could be interesting. Apparently, they've taken a brand new aggressive stance, because they have coexisted with that other convenience store in Northern Ohio for like 35 years based on trademark records. But Buc-ee's also sued Georgia-based Teddy's Market this year over, are you ready for this? Their koala bear. They had a koala bear. They sued them over a koala bear. Who sues anybody over a koala bear? That'd be the harmless little bear. I mean, so this one person, this Dennenberg lady, said, I'm perplexed by Buc-ee's extremely aggressive position. The koala bear. I mean, there are 42 Mickey's convenience stores owned by Kohl's IP Handlings in Ohio, or Holdings in Ohio, mostly clustered between Cleveland and Toledo, or a few hours' drive to the Buc-ee's store that opened in Huber Heights near the intersection of I-70 and I-75, known as the Crossroads of America. But you're right, Buc-ee's looks like they're really, really aggressive, and I don't know. But I've never seen anything quite like this, and what we're doing over mascots. Really? Mascots. I'm amazed. So
I scratch my head at it as well, Gary, but we'll keep watching, and I when I watch this, I can't help but think Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Nothing up my sleeve. But apparently they are known for the beaver nuggets. You can get the beaver nuggets with these little pretzel bites. I don't know if they have like peanut butter in or something like that, but I'm just looking at the picture of them. They're like little bags of pretzel bites that you use, when you're traveling, maybe just something to munch on. That's what Buc-ee's is known for. 50 locations in 13 states as highway oases, and has plans to open more outposts offering its jerky, fudge, and dizzying array of beaver-themed products.
I bet you they have stewed tomatoes and mac and cheese, too.
I bet you they do. Maybe bite-sized. Maybe bite-sized. I don't know. Stop it. Anyway, we'll find out what happens more with Buc-ee's. The aggressive Beaver Place. Good gosh. Great article this morning, as always,
Absolutely.
my friend. We'll look forward next Tuesday. I don't know what you can possibly do to top this, but we'll check it out next Tuesday morning with you, okay, buddy?
Maybe we'll talk about the Open next week. I'm still calling Patrick Reed as a winner this week.
Where did that come from? Didn't you pick him for the Masters also?
I did, and he was a top 20 finisher.
He was. He's kind of like one of the bad guys, although he's mellowed out a little bit, I think. But
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to win the British Open this week. I'm anxious to see. I've got this feeling about Rory McIlroy. I just think that Rory might. I know. I'm sorry. It's like the logical, but I don't know. I'm just thinking that maybe he's going to just kind of light up. Who knows?
Jordan Spieth, Patrick Reed. Those are my two calls.
Jordan Spieth's done. I mean, he can't sustain it for 4 rounds anymore. Which I wish he could. Because I really like Jordan Spieth, but yeah, he lost it somewhere along the line there and can't get it back. Ever since that 12 at the Masters, I mean, he hasn't been the same guy. Anyway, great to have you in this morning. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you next Tuesday. James Sanders here this morning with some Beaver nuggets for us all here on the Gary Sutton Show. Mark's still shaking his head here on WOIK. We'll take a break. We'll come right back.
Yes, we'll try to have some Fox Sports for you.
A semifinal round at a World Cup like never before, in that the top 4 teams in the FIFA rankings are the only 4 teams left in the tournament. And another first, all 4 teams still standing have won previous World Cups. The reigning champion Argentina entered this tournament as number 1, ahead of Spain, France, and England. Argentina plays England tomorrow. Today on Fox TV, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, it'll be World Cup favorite France, led by Kylian Mbappe with 8 goals and 3 assists in this tournament, versus Spain, a match that figures to feature France's explosive transitions and pace versus Spain's patient possession, controlling the ball. France won its quarterfinal 2-0 over Morocco. Spain got by Belgium 2-1. Today's match will be played in Arlington, Texas. Pre-game coverage on Fox at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Jared Max, Fox News.
So what do you think? Who are you? You think Argentina is going to repeat? No, you said Spain yesterday.
I said Spain. I think Spain's going to win the whole thing.
I'm going with France. Last night, of course.
The 2026 edition of the Home Run Derby featured an all-new swing-based format, as hitters had a limited amount of swings to hit as many home runs as possible. The opening round saw some long bombs, with Tampa Bay Rays third baseman Junior Caminero hitting the longest homer of the night at 491 feet. Philadelphia Phillies slugger Kyle Schwarber put on a show for the hometown crowd, but it was St. Louis Cardinals outfielder Jordan Walker that silenced the Boo Birds.
Is that enough? Jordan Walker wins it!
The call on Netflix, Walker with 12 home runs to win it. He becomes the first Cardinal ever to win the Derby. Tony Genualdo, Fox News.
Now,
wow.
Did you see that at all?
I didn't watch it at all, no.
Well, I watched a little bit of the Netflix, and it was kind of odd that the guy who does the Let It Rumble, that announcer.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Yeah, he was doing the introductions.
Really?
Of the team that was competing in the home run derby. And I'm thinking, well, wait a second. So where's Shohei Ohtani? Where Aaron Judge is injured. So these aren't really, granted,
Schwarber is.
Yeah, he is, right. But some of these other guys I never even heard of. So
if you'd have been in Philadelphia, you wouldn't have Schwarber in there. That'd probably been a riot.
Pretty much. Yeah. And then, who the last person was announced
Go ahead.
on the team? It was Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper, who didn't do very well.
Yeah, but they were trying to get, and they named these people. They run to like second base where they have a boxing ring set up. They climb into the ring. They do, some, and it was like, what kind
Corny.
of convoluted thing is this?
I know, it's just stupid.
The real game, however, is tonight.
Yes.
Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia is the site of the 2026 MLB All-Star Game as the American League faces the National League. The hometown Phillies have 6 All-Stars this year, including Kyle Schwarber, who leads the league in home runs, and pitcher Christopher Sanchez, who will start for the NL tonight. The AL will go with Blue Jays pitcher Dylan Cease to start. Angels outfielder Mike Trout, who grew up about an hour south of Philly, will play in his 12th All-Star game and will be sure to get a nice welcome home. And Tigers pitcher Justin Verlander will compete in his final All-Star game as the 43-year-old announced that he will retire at the end of this season. The action begins at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Tony Genualdo, Fox News.
Yeah, and again, a question for the day today at Gary Sutton Show on Facebook, as well as Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn, is do we really need an All-Star game anymore? Anybody going to watch this thing tonight? I of all the All-Star games, I will admit, this one probably is as close to legit as any of them, and yet they still, it's silly. To me, I definitely have a bias against this. By the way, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster on Monday appointed the late Lindsey Graham's sister, Darlene Graham Nardone, to finish his Senate term, which ends in January. It's an interesting story because they lost their parents when Lindsey Graham was 22 and his sister was 13. And what Lindsey Graham did then was he became the guardian for his sister after his parents' death and took care of her. Now, she will serve until at least January 3rd when a new Congress convenes. She's going to be sworn in today at 2:30. She said, Lindsey was always there for me, and now I will be there for him, calling it a privilege to get to finish some of his important work. Graham took legal guardianship of his sister when he was 22. She was 13 after both their parents died within 15 months of each other. Unbelievable. Graham was also running for re-election this fall, and a special Republican primary election will be held on August 11th to determine who will replace him on the ballot. The candidate who wins in November will secure a full 6-year term. So she's just filling out his term until January 3rd, and he would have been up for re-election this year. And so whoever wins that gets a 6-year term. No word yet if she will run to be one of the people considered for that.
I wonder if she would have time to do that.
I don't know. Graham died Saturday at the age of 71, and a medical examiner's preliminary findings suggest the cause was aortic dissection, which involves a tear in the main artery from the heart.
You wonder, the only other time I heard of this was, and you will remember this, when Drew Bledsoe was quarterback of the Patriots, and I think it was it Mo Lewis who hit him? He was running out of bounds. Bledsoe was running out.
Yeah.
It's very nonchalantly, and Mo just clocked him. And then they had to put in a new quarterback, and his name was Tom Brady. You might have heard of him. But Bledsoe was hit so hard, I think they talked about the aorta being torn.
Wow.
And they had to rush him to the, he's okay now.
Of course, he didn't die. Yeah. But,
right.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So anyway, so Lindsey Graham's sister is going to take over till January the 3rd. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll tell you about a former Yorker who became quite famous, who's coming back to town for a very special event at the Belmont Theater. And Lynn Bergdahl joins us next to tell you all about that. And you can take part in it and actually come and see him. All here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
relax. Do you hear bells and whistles when you kiss me?
I think so.
And when we embraced, our rockets hit the sky?
Maybe? Yes.
No? Do you believe that love should feel like stars when they collide? Oh, shouldn't it be a wild romantic ride?
What you're listening to is something called Lend Me a Tenor, which was written by Ken Ludwig, who is America's preeminent comic playwright, author, screenwriter, director, whose work has been performed in more than 30 countries in over 20 languages. And Ken is from York, Pennsylvania. It's exactly right. His alma mater was Haverford College, Cambridge University, Trinity College, Harvard University. But he's a playwright, theater director, and he is returning to York here at the end of July to help open the Belmont Theater, which is back in action again. And with us this morning, the creative director from Creative York, but also with the Belmont Theater right now, we're talking about Lynn Bergdahl, who joins us here on the Gary Sutton Show. Good morning, Lynn. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
Well, I'm wonderful. It's always great to get to talk to you from time to time. But Ken Ludwig, who I think I sat next to in District Band when I played in high school. Ken was a year older than me. We played trombone together, and I didn't know he was going to go on and be a famous guy. But anyway, he's coming back to York. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, his dad was a doctor here in town. Who took care of facial kind of things like acne and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, but Ken's coming back Friday, July 24th at 7:30, and people can kind of get a chance to see him, right? Talk about that a little bit this morning, Lynn.
Yes, well, we're very excited because we're going to present Ken Ludwig's play, Dear Jack, Dear Louise.
Yes.
And that is a play that he wrote about how his parents met.
Wow.
And yes, you're correct. His father was a dermatologist here in York. His mother had actually been a Broadway dancer, and they wrote letters during World War II. The entire time, the entire war, and then they met after the war.
Wow.
They got married, and he opened his practice here in York, so then she had to move from New York to York. And she danced at what was then York Little Theater and is now the Belmont.
Wow. Now, what a great story. Dear Jack, Dear Louise. And so that's going to be presented that weekend. And the performances, I understand, are going to be at 7:30 on Saturday and also on Sunday. I'm planning on being out there myself. Sunday at 2 p.m., of course, Saturday at 7:30. But you get a chance to meet with Ken. I guess there's a ticket that includes a champagne reception, opening remarks, and a Q&A session with Ludwig on Friday night, the 24th, right?
That's correct. There are a few seats left, only a few. So if anyone does want to join us, they should go to thebelmont.org and reserve those seats because there are not many left. It's going to be quite an elegant, exciting evening.
Well, that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm planning on being there. I got to get down and get my tickets, so I've been dragging my feet here, and if you know Lynn Bergdahl, if you drag your feet, you don't do that. Lynn would give me a little chastisement there. But anyway, the Belmont Theater opening for their 94th season. Exciting times. Been refurbished, been cleaned up, been all kinds of new things happening there. Tell us about it, Lynn.
Well, we have had tremendous summer camps, and this week we have the second of a 2-week camp, and the students are doing Chitty Chitty Bang Bang this Friday, and they have actually built the car. It's going to be tremendous. And we have one more week of camp, the final week in July, the 27th to the 31st. But we have announced our 94th season, as you say, and it consists of American classics. We are extremely pleased to present a chorus line starting September 18th, and this is the 50th anniversary of a chorus line. Wow. Isn't that hard to believe?
That is amazing, yeah.
Yeah, it really is. We're going to continue then with the Rocky Horror Show over Halloween. And then our holiday musical is going to be White Christmas, truly a beloved musical.
Oh, that is so cool.
After the New Year, we're going to do The Odd Couple. A funny thing happened on the way to the Forum. Death of a Salesman that just won 6 Tony Awards again. And then another Ken Ludwig show, the musical Crazy for You.
Wow. I mean, what a great array of things. And then in the meantime, you've got other things going on. Like I know August 22nd, you got the Unforgettable Big Band featuring Jim Schofield, who I know a little bit. And they're going to be on stage August 22nd and 23rd. 7:30 on the 22nd, 2 o'clock on the 23rd. 100 years of Tony Bennett, the centennial celebration of the music of Tony Bennett. How much better can it get than that?
That's going to be really wonderful.
Yeah. So what else is going on out there at the Belmont right now? Because, a lot of people are getting excited about all the things that are happening. I know you've got a holiday spectacular coming up with the Unforgettable Big Band as well, December 18th and 19th too, right?
We do. We have so much going on. And many people are reaching out and want to volunteer at the theater, certainly want to audition, to direct at the theater. It's been very, very inspirational to see the community reacting to 94 years of a local treasure like this.
Wow. And then you've got something a lot of people aren't aware of at the Belmont Theater, the Black Box Theater, the Bradley Black Box Theater. What is that about? I know you got the Odd Couple coming up there later on. Now, it's way down the line here, it seems like, January and February. But the Odd Couple at the Black Box Theater. What's the Black Box Theater?
Sure. That is a smaller theater than the main stage. And it is totally black inside that theater, and you can transform it into anything. So we do usually plays or smaller shows in there. It seats 111 compared to 250 in the main stage. So it's not quite as big, but it's so versatile. You can turn it into any kind of scene, atmosphere, show. So we will do Rocky Horror in there for Halloween. And then we will do The Odd Couple in there, and also Death of a Salesman will be in there. The other shows will be on the main stage.
Now, the Belmont Theater is located at 27 South Belmont Street, right here in York. Most of you know where that's at. You can call for tickets at 717-854-5715. You can get an email at info@thebelmont.org. But you can become a subscriber for the whole season if you'd like, which is one of the things that I'm going to do this year. I've decided I'm going to become a subscriber. Or you can buy tickets for each of the individual shows. They are on sale there as well. But it's just a great place to go. It's part of the tapestry, the mosaic of York, I like to call it. And so many great things coming up this year. Final thoughts this morning on what's happening here at the end of July with Ken Lugwood coming to town there, Lynn.
Well, it's an incredible honor. As you said, he has his shows produced in more than 30 countries, more than 20 languages. And to have him take the time to come back to York, his hometown, is very, very special. We are truly, truly honored.
And check it out under Learn More. Go to thebelmont.org and page on down under Learn More about Ken Ludwig's Dear Jack, Dear Louise. A story about his parents. And what a great weekend that's going to be. I'm looking forward to taking part in it. I hope you will too. Lynn, thanks for all you're doing for the community, but particularly with the Belmont Theater and Creative York. Do appreciate you taking the time to be with us this morning. And I hope people will go to thebelmont.org/current season and find out all the great things that Belmont has in their 94th season.
Well, thank you so much, and we appreciate all you do.
Thank you. Lynn Bergdahl here on the Gary Sutton Show. Check it out, thebelmont.org/current-season. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more here. And what do we have straight ahead, Mark?
Well, food in the news.
Ooh, food in the news. We never, ever get tired of that. All here on the Gary Sutton Show, the main street of York and York County, and it's right here on WOYK.
men and women can't be friends because no man can be friends with a woman that he finds attractive. He always wants to have sex with her.
So you're saying that a man can be friends with a woman he finds unattractive?
No, you pretty much want to nail him, too.
Oh, wow.
No, I don't like to eat between
Is this when Harry met Sally?
Yes, when he spits it out, just got the window.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
I'll roll down the window. A faceless guy rips off your clothes, and that's the sex
I
fantasy.
really like this movie. It's a good
Exactly
movie.
the same.
Well, sometimes I varied it a little.
Which part?
What I'm wearing.
You talk about other women. Yeah. Like the other night. I made love to this woman, and it was so incredible. I took her to a place that wasn't human. She actually meowed.
You made a woman meow?
Yeah, there you go. It's
It was on this
movie. Yeah.
It was on this date in 1989. Billy Crystal, Meg Ryan, directed by Rob Reiner, written by Nora Ephron. It's a classic. When
Yeah,
Harry
it
Met
really
Sally.
is. So there you go. When Harry Met Sally, one of the great fun movies.
Yes,
I would
romantic
say.
comedy.
Yeah, not nothing to be taken too seriously, but there you have it. All here on the Gary Sutton Show on a Tuesday morning. What else do we have there, Mark?
Well, we have food in the news. For example, today is,
After several years away, Chick-fil-A is inviting customers once again to bring in the whole herd to the nearest Chick-fil-A for the chain's beloved Cow Appreciation Day, where customers can stop by dressed like a cow and receive a free entree at participating restaurants in celebration of Chick-fil-A's 80th anniversary. The chain saying that Cow Appreciation Day is all about having fun. Digital ordering not valid for the special day. You have to show up dressed like a cow for the free eats. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
So is that something you might do?
Yeah, I think I would. I think I would do that. Yeah.
You would?
I would.
I would not.
I would. Okay. Anyway.
There's another story about food in the news.
Olive Garden says that its long-awaited never-ending pasta pass is making a comeback. It's the first time the restaurant has offered the deal since 2019. Olive Garden's pasta pass has helped kickstart the restaurant industry's subscription trend as budget-conscious diners drive restaurants towards subscriptions and loyalty programs. The pass costs $100 each plus tax and buys 13 weeks of unlimited pasta. Diners can mix and match from 120 combinations of pastas, sauces, and protein toppings, plus bottomless soup or salad and breadsticks on the side. The catch? There are only 10,000 passes available. Hillary Barsky, Fox News.
Yeah, pasta. Well, the U.S. has attacked Iran, and Tehran has retaliated across the Middle East, threatening a return to all-out war. That's one of the things that we're keeping our eyes on internationally this morning. The U.S. launched strikes on Iran early today, hours after President Trump vowed to reinstate an American blockade of Iranian ports and charge ships for safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz, up to like 20% of the total amount of their cargo. And again, I don't know if that's just one of these ideas at the moment or what's really going on there. Iran responded with attacks on Middle East allies of the United States. Now, the actions leave in tatters, obviously, an interim deal meant to pause the fighting, reopen a waterway that's a crucial passage for the world's energy supplies, and give negotiators time to hammer out a permanent end to the war. Instead, fighting has once again engulfed the region and threatened the global economy. Unless a diplomatic solution is found quickly, it could intensify into an all-out war. Now, the president has notified Congress of the fact that they are at war again, even though we use that word, only Congress can declare war. But the president's saying we're back, fighting again here in this whole deal. Now, the focus of the conflict now is the Strait of Hormuz, through which we have heard ad nauseum, a fifth of all traded crude oil and natural gas passed in peacetime. Iran effectively shut the passage during the war by attacking and threatening ships, a tactic that proved its greatest strategic advantage since it sent the price of oil, fertilizer, and other goods soaring at a time when world leaders were already struggling to address a rising cost of living. Now, those prices have come down slightly into the $3 area, $3.79, $3.99 in some cases. But the interim deal was supposed to reopen the waterway, but Iran has attacked some ships moving through the strait. And so, again, the question is, what do we do with Iran during this time? The U.S. has now threatened to reopen the strait by force, but experts say that will require a much bigger armada, if not tens of thousands of American troops on Iranian soil. It's possible President Trump will back down as he has previously. We do not know what's going to happen with that. The U.S. Military Central Command said it struck several areas in Iran, targeting coastal defense systems, missile and drone sites, and maritime capabilities. Iran acknowledged the strikes but provided no immediate casualty or damage assessment. These strikes will continue, imposing a heavy cost on Iranian forces and degrade their ability to attack innocent civilians and commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, the U.S. military said. We've unfortunately heard that reprised several times. Iran responded with attacks targeting Bahrain, Jordan, and 3 tankers that traveled through the strait. 2 of the ships were associated with the United Arab Emirates and were set ablaze for a time. The Emirati Defense Ministry said the attack on the tankers Mombasa and Al Bayya killed 1 mariner and wounded 8 others. The Emirates threatened to retaliate. Blah, blah, blah. There you go. So that's what's going on right now in the Strait of Hormuz area and with Iran and the United States. And we'll see what happens today on that whole deal.
So that's no doubt stressing people out. Let's talk about stressed out cities. What would you think is on the list of stressed out cities?
Stressed out cities, like what would I think of? L.A.
Okay.
Detroit would come to mind. Chicago.
Yes.
Would be
right.
the top 3 that would come on my list.
Let's see what happens.
A new Wallet Hub analysis ranks Detroit as America's most stressed city, followed by Cleveland and Baltimore. Researchers compared 182 cities across nearly 40 measures of work, financial, family, and health and safety stress. Detroit ranked highest in part because it has the nation's highest unemployment rate and the lowest cost of living adjusted median household income. The city also ranked among the worst for poverty and financial stress. Gulfport, Mississippi, Memphis, Tennessee, Shreveport, Louisiana, Philadelphia, Toledo, Ohio, Birmingham, Alabama, and Jackson, Mississippi round out the rest of the top 10. CJ Papa, Fox News.
You got a couple there.
Yeah, Detroit was there. Now Baltimore is one. I'm doing a sit-in for someone in Baltimore and WBAL this weekend. And, Baltimore is one of those that's lost a lot of people over the last bunch of years. And it's interesting. I do a call-in show there. I used to. Now I'm just sitting in as a sub this weekend. But it's interesting. People talk about how, taxes and the violence in downtown Baltimore. But their murders are down over the last bunch of years. But one of the things that they talk about a lot is being harassed by youth in Baltimore. And that's one of the big things you hear an awful lot about. Kind of interesting when you talk about stressed out cities. And then, places like the Inner Harbor that we used to send a lot of people down here from New York to over the years has become a place that is just kind of a shell of its former self. They're looking to redo all of that down in Baltimore, a big project that they're trying to put in apartments and kind of redo the Inner Harbor and get it back again.
Renovate it in some way.
Yeah, you remember back in the early 70s when Pittsburgh, Baltimore did things like the Inner Harbor and rejuvenated the downtown area. So it'd be interesting to see what they do, Mark, to rejuvenate the downtown area. That's a theme around the country. Obviously, we're trying to do that here in New York as well, rejuvenate the downtown area with, new restaurants and bars and things like that. So, interesting to see what the downtown has become, because a lot of people moved out of the downtown in the early 70s out to suburbia. We started to see malls and shopping centers and all that. And the downtown became kind of a ghost. I remember when I was a kid, growing up, going to downtown New York, you went there for your clothing, you went there for entertainment, you went there to see a film, you went there to the theater, you went there for government stuff, you went there for a lot of reasons. My trombone lessons, I came downtown here for that. And I used to ride the bus. And it was a big deal. I lived out in Manchester, and you'd ride the bus the whole 5 miles into the downtown. But the downtown was like Oz to us. We lived in Manchester. We're going to downtown New York today. It's like, let's see what the wizard says. You kind of viewed it that way. It was a big deal.
I remember.
And now, the downtown is, you got more boutiques down there. You've got, obviously, we come here for the ball game tonight. We got York Revolution back in town tonight with Staten Island for a 6-game series. And we get a lot of people coming here to the stadium where we broadcast every single day for that. They come down to the White Rose, for example, or some of the other restaurants here in town. Look at Hamir's up the street. They come here for the theater, for the Strand and the Capitol. People come down now for, Holy Hound or First Friday or the Marketplace, the Central Market, which is one of our favorite places where you get Augie's Joint and Barrie Orchards and some of the other things inside there. So people are coming for different reasons, but it's not quite the same as it used to be. We're trying to draw more and more people downtown on a regular basis.
So let's get to some unusual things that you may not be aware of. How's that?
Well, that's
jog
fine.
your brain?
Yeah, I
right.
don't know what they are, so go ahead.
Well, Starbucks goes through how many coffee cups a year?
Oh, I wouldn't even, millions, I would think, yeah.
7 billion.
Really? 7 billion? That's a lot of coffee.
Yes, it is. There have been how many different flavors of Kit Kats produced in Japan?
Oh, I don't know.
I was kind of shocked to hear this.
Okay.
More than 400.
Oh, 400
And it was
different
like-
flavors of Kit Kats?
Can you imagine?
I didn't even know. Wait, I mean, that would be a
You wanna
stretch
hear-
for me. No, I don't.
You want to hear some of them?
Go ahead.
Pear.
Pear?
A pear Kit Kat?
Okay.
Soybean.
Yeah.
Green tea.
Keep going.
This one, I can't. Wasabi. No.
Yeah, I know. Not in Kit Kats.
No.
There's
Okay.
not a need for that.
And lastly, the inventor of the ATM, he wanted to use 6-digit pins.
Yes.
But he ran the idea past his wife, and she couldn't get beyond 4.
Well, there you go.
So that's why it's 4.
And ladies always simplifying life for us guys who want to make it a little too complicated sometimes. Ladies are the sobering influence. When we come back, Jamie Norpel of the York County Safety Collab joins us here on the Gary Sutton Show. And then Seth Leonard, state championship coach from Central Dauphin, but a York native, tells us about a big basketball event coming up at the end of August here in York you'll want to know about. All here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK, where it is 8 o'clock.
This is York's only local show on York's only local station. This is the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
Listen to your show every day. It's really good.
I have you guys on every morning to wake up to.
Gary Sutton, mornings 6 to 9 on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK.
All the things you're talking about are all things we're talking about. It's Main Street America every day.
And you're getting your money's worth. You're a brilliant mind, tremendous experience. You're great for the community.
The Gary Sutton Show on York's first station, WOYK.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Now, broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown York studios inside Wellspan Park, here's Gary Sutton.
And welcome back to the Gary Sutton Show here, the final hour on a Tuesday morning. Getting ready for Revs baseball tonight here, and it all starts at 6:10. All here on WOYK, 6:30 first pitch as the Staten Island team is in town. The Revs 7-2 as we start tonight, tie for first place in North Division of the Atlantic League, and you need to be out here. A great place to be. The Revs have a 6-game series coming up here, and a big one as they try to jet propel themselves out in the second half. They're winners of 4 in a row on the road now with Lexington, a really good team. The leaders of the North Division, or the South Division rather, in the Atlantic League. But the Revs lost their first 2 and then won 4 in a row and just bombarded Lexington. And they'll bring those big bats back here to the stadium tonight. You can get your tickets today at the Shipley Energy ticket office or go online at YorkRevolution.com. This hour, the Gary Sutton Show, brought to you by York Computer. Managed IT and security. Flat rate managed IT services, 24/7 monitoring, cybersecurity. I tell you what, I pay $50 a month, $49.95, but $50 a month to have them do that for me. They're my digital bodyguard. What they do is they basically keep an eye on my computer, which is my business and my personal computer, and make sure that no one is sneaking in my digital back door. That would tickle. They do that on a regular basis, 24/7 monitoring and alerts. They have a flat monthly rate. There's no surprises there. They're local. They're based right here in York at 2069 Carlisle Avenue out in the Shiloh area. And they take care of me, both business and residential. And I tell you what, a number of times I have been invaded, and they've been right there knocking that invasion back. Now, you can call 717-739-9675 or stop by and see them at 2069 Carlisle Avenue right here in York, where they're open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. And Walt Oakham and all the good people out there, Nate and the whole crowd, they are ready to help you. They also can repair your computer. They can even remote into your computer sometimes to help do it that way if you don't want to leave the house. And by the way, they also have new and used computers out there, and they can customize computers as well. They're your one-stop shop for all your small business and residential needs. But that flat rate managed IT service thing, I'm telling you what, that I wouldn't go without it now. I mean, I am so happy to fork that over every month to make sure that nobody is invading in a time where you want to be safe, right? And all the stuff that's going on, York Computer is where I go because it feels good to have peace of mind. YorkComputer.net. You can check it out today, or yourdigitalbodyguard.com. Either way, get in there today. And, of course, our major sponsors, Kindness Worldwide and Anstein and Sparler, attorneys of the law, always right there. Our text line is open at 833-478-4729, brought to you by Back Nine, the Back Nine Golf, right out there at back9golf.com/York-PA for memberships and how to get out there right now when it's so hot. Maybe play golf inside in air conditioning. Yeah, find out how you can do that today by going to the back9golf.com/York-PA. Our question of the day, we have an All-Star game coming up tonight. Now, at Gary Sutton Show on Facebook. You could answer that question also on Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Do we really need all-star games anymore, even in baseball? There's a question. Well, yesterday morning, I had a chance to sit down and have breakfast with Jamie Norpel, who sits in for us every now and then. She's the head of York County Safety Collab.org. You can find her there. She is a historian. She's a former history teacher. I think she has a doctorate, if I'm not mistaken. She's a mom. She's a wife. And she's all over York doing things all the time. She is the Renaissance Lady of York, and she's here this morning with us on the Gary Sutton Show. Good morning, Jamie. How are you?
Good morning, Gary. I am still doing fantastic after having breakfast with my favorite person yesterday.
Oh, geez. Listen to that. Listen to that, huh? The sucking up will get you everywhere on this show, that's for sure. But anyway, well, great to be with you. I had fun yesterday. We were picking each other's brains a little bit and just sitting down and chatting and talking and having a good time. And then I saw her yesterday afternoon at the Better York meeting. So it was a lot of fun yesterday. I really enjoyed sitting down and breaking bread with you early at 9:30 or so. And it was fun.
No, I appreciate your time. I like talking with people in the community who are doing really cool things and kind of peeking behind the curtain and understanding more of what goes on to create the show and what priorities are. So, yeah, I appreciate your time. It was also great seeing you at the Better York meeting last night. You know, that's a nonprofit of, about 100 different community leaders who get together quarterly and hear what's happening around town. And last night they heard from the York City Fire Department.
I was fascinated. I was fascinated with that whole presentation. There were 3 presentations last night, but that one caught me because I never understood how all that's structured and how it's set up. And I thought the guys that presented that were just fantastic. The chief and his assistant was really good.
Yeah, it was Chief Adam Smith and Deputy Chief Kevin Westover.
Right.
I think one of the takeaways that I got from that is when I think of the fire department and I hear the engines, rolling down the street, I just think, oh, there's a fire somewhere. But that wasn't the case.
No.
Out of the last year, they shared some statistics from 2025, and they had over 3,400 incidents. Right, 3,400. Yep. And then do you remember how many were just fires?
200. Just a little over 200. Yeah.
Yes. And so that made me appreciate that the fire does way more than just put out fires. The number one, do you remember what the number one then call was for?
It was ET or EMT kind of things. I remember it was like 1,000 something EMT kind of things that they had to go out there, like 1,065, somewhere along that line. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it was number one was rescue and EMS because their firefighters are trained in that first aid, and a lot of times they're the first person on the scene even before police can get there.
Exactly,
and especially EMS. So yeah, I was actually very impressed with. They do a lot more than just fire for sure.
Well, and something else that I was impressed with, the numbers of hours of training that they have. They're up over 4,700 hours of training this year where they go out and work like in close spaces and they change them all the time where they might have to crawl through something or taking care of a fire in a controlled kind of setting. I mean, they're doing training all the time. They are really very proactive on a lot of things that a lot of other fire companies around Pennsylvania aren't really doing. That really kind of stuck out to me last night.
Well, and a part of it is that they, York City pays for them. They have 63 actually paid staff, and the Commonwealth system here in, York, Pennsylvania is we have over 60 fire departments, and the majority of them are volunteer. And when I say majority, I only know of 3 that are paid, and so the rest are relying on volunteers, which is amazing. I'm so appreciative of that and the generosity of the community. But the fact that these 3 communities, York City, that we're focusing on right now, pays for their police or for their fire. Gosh, you can tell I work with police, with their fire department. It shows that they are able to then equip their firefighters with the apparatus. They went into how expensive some of the machines are. What do you say that they're waiting on the one apparatus that was like $1.7 million?
$1.7 million. A piece of apparatus like that you'd climb up to another floor, and it costs that much. I mean, this stuff that they're getting costs a lot. Now, they get some grants and state, RAC kind of grants and things like that, but still, the one thing that stood out when Chief Smith was talking yesterday was the idea how proactive and how proud they are. He lives right here in the city. And he made a point of saying at the beginning, I live right here in the city, so I'm the guy that I'm going to get there quickly. And that was always one of the big questions for people. If you're on a fire department or in the police department, shouldn't you live here in the city? Well, Chief Smith does, who just took over and was very proud of that fact last night.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it gives them that proximity to understand the community that they serve. I 2.5 years ago, almost 3, there was a man hit my house, and when I lived up in Newburytown, and he was going so fast that unfortunately it was a fatal. I was home alone with my, at the time, 8-month-old. Called 911, went out, and I saw this man in the vehicle, could see that he wasn't moving, and at that moment I froze. And that could be a whole other conversation, and we can talk about the psychology of how you think you're going to act in a crisis, and then how you actually act. And part of it is I had an 8-month-old on my hip. What am I actually going to do? But the police, because it was in Newberry Town, it was only 1.5 miles from the police department. They were the first to show up, but it was the fire that was able to get this man out of the vehicle. And like I said, it was a fatal, so he had already passed. But fire are the ones that are equipped with those rescue missions, and they had the axes and the saws and all the things to open the vehicle. It's the types of things that we don't appreciate that goes into being a firefighter today.
You get into all the jaws of life and things like that, and it's pretty incredible. Also wanted to kind of mention this morning, too, about CIT training. You got some CIT training coming up. Tell people about what CIT is and what this training's all about.
So you mentioned that fire did a lot of training. The average person goes through 84 hours of training, which is 2 full weeks, which is fantastic. So they also go through, every lieutenant completed a crisis intervention course through the county, and this is one of the very few trans-jurisdictional trainings that is offered in York County. It's very difficult to coordinate fire department training because of their schedules, but they make time to go through CIT, and CIT, like I said, is housed under the county, and it's how to de-escalate crisis situations, because when you're responding first on the scene to, and for a lot of instances, the worst day in someone's life, they're going to act in a way that isn't characteristic of how they normally are, whether that is an actual threat or just someone who is highly emotional. And so there's small little things that first responders are trained in York County to do to greet that person with the utmost compassion, because there's a lot of things that they're, as first responders, they're holding in as well. I mean, a lot of police and first responders can become, dare I say, desensitized because they're exposed to it all the time, so they can act with a calm mind, but not all the time. And so you might find yourself accidentally saying things. Like, for example, if you tell someone to calm down or relax, or you're overreacting, those might be things that they're thinking, but if you said that to someone, you're just going to escalate them. So this is a 40-hour training. It's an entire week.
Wow.
That is teaching people understanding mental health issues, how to differentiate between someone with a disability versus mental health versus substance abuse, who to call, what the resources are in the community. They do a lot of scenarios where people go through and they bring in people with lived experience. So people that are struggling with schizophrenia come in and talk about it. People who are struggling with autism or substance abuse, they come in and they talk about their experiences, and they go through that first-hand, experience to get them so they can work with people better.
Wow. And this is open to who all would be able to attend on this?
No, so it started off with just law enforcement,
right.
And thanks to the coordinator, they did expand it to fire. So right now, I'm focusing on those two. They also, just this past year, have now developed a youth version where now they offer it to teachers and then other youth service providers. It's a little bit different than like the police or fire version, but it's still a 40-hour specialized program that focuses on de-escalation, safety for everyone, and the crux of it is that encourages diversion instead of arrest. So instead of just trying to arrest away, the mental health crisis that we find ourselves in, it's more about, all right, what can I do to connect this person with resources?
And where can people go to find out more about this?
They can go to the county. They type in a crisis intervention team. That's what CIT stands for. They can find out more on that. Like I said, though, it's a closed training. This is not just open to the public. Now, with that said,
sure.
I've had a number of clergy in the area who want to do this type of training. So the organizer, we have talked about ways that we can expand this to include more people because, gosh, wouldn't it be wonderful if more people were trained in de-escalation training?
Well, it's, I tell you what, it sounds like a great training to get people out in front of things. Again, proactive, preventative, that's what it's really all about. And give people as much resource as you can in how you're going to deal with all these kind of situations that come up. Again, trying to keep people safe in the community, help people to better prosper in the community, and that's really what it's all about, right?
Yep, exactly.
Hey, wonderful talking to you this morning, Jamie. Always a pleasure. Have a great rest of the week. I enjoyed breakfast yesterday. We'll do it again soon. I still have to get you out for dinner because I've done that with other people. And, breakfast is breakfast, but dinner, that's another whole level of, hospitality, right?
I'll take it. You let me know. I'll be waiting.
All right. And Jamie, who sits in for me every now and then on the Gary Sutton Show, that'll be worth at least 5 more appearances here. But Jamie, thanks so much. Always good talking to you.
Thanks, Gary. Have a great day.
Have a great rest of the week. Jamie Norpel right here on the Gary Sutton Show. You can find him at YorkCountySafetyCollab.org. They're doing a lot for the community right now. We'll be back with more. We still have Seth Leonard out ahead this morning. State championship basketball coach, but a guy who's helping to put together a real special event coming up here in York County. He'll be straight ahead right here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
This is my home, which I am leaving the comforts of for the weekend to explore the Blair Witch.
I can see you.
I'm really excited about this. Thank you for the
I'm very
opportunity.
glad.
This area's been haunted by that old woman for years.
I don't know why you have to have every conversation on video.
Because we're making a documentary.
Not about us getting lost. We're making a documentary about a witch.
What was this a Blair Witch Project?
It was. It was on this date in 1999. The Blair Witch Project was released, and it really,
Also, it took place down here just across the border in Maryland, not too far from us.
Yeah, I mean, it basically was a tech movie, right? It had video cameras. That was the big deal.
It was really like a grade B movie.
Yes.
But what was interesting? They never found anything in it. But you know what? It was the most disturbing movie to me. I would never watch it again. I watched part of it. I would never watch it again.
Yeah. And even though you didn't see anything.
No. I mean, that's what was really odd about it, that there was nothing came out of it. And it was I don't know what it was that disturbed me so much, but it really did.
Well, it's when your mind is. I mean, that's what Spielberg used to do. Until you see this. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. But by the way, on this date, and I was looking back just at a couple of things, and you had mentioned a few this morning.
Mm-hmm.
58 years ago, in 1968, Hank Aaron hit his 500th home run. I think off Al Downing, if I remember correctly. He hit it for the Braves. You talk about a guy that didn't ever really get the credit. I mean, Hank Aaron was the baseball home run leader and all that, but he never really got the credit. Babe Ruth was the guy, and I never understood it. Hank Aaron was just Mr. Consistency over all the years, and it hit that 500th home run, and then later on broke the home run record. And you talk about a guy that traveled in anonymity in his lifetime. I mean, he was given credit, but it was like, it was always the Babe Ruth kind of thing. Do you ever think about that at all?
Me?
Yes.
No.
Apparently not. Okay.
Well, there was one event that had to do with. I'm trying to remember who it was. They had the number of home runs that they just beat. They moved up on the list to number 7, just past Mickey Mantle. And I'm trying to remember the player's name, but I cannot for the life of me remember. But it was a big baseball home run day, even going back. Other players hit significant milestones in their career. Not enough for us to mention today, but these things happen. And when you pass a guy, and then, of course, Hank went on to 744?
Yeah, it was a huge number. I mean, he ended up, Aaron never hit 50 home runs in a season. He topped out at 47 home runs in 1971, while Marison Mays dominated a short-term news cycle with massive single-season spikes. You remember Mickey Mantle got hurt. He was at 56. Maris went on to get 61 in a season. But, the thing with Aaron, I mean, Aaron, his swing was compact and fluid. He wasn't a home run hitter per se. Rather than swinging for the fences, he used his famously quick wrist to hit the baseball hard consistently. His doubles often just cleared the fence, reflecting his focus on contact rather than power.
It was Mike Schmidt. Passed Mickey Mantle.
The second best third baseman in baseball.
537.
Yeah, we always say that.
Well, and you know what? I saw and this not related, only related to sports insofar as you collected trading cards, right?
I did.
Yeah, so I think most of us did, or at least ate the bubble gum. But
it wasn't for the bubble gum. That was notoriously stale,
that's
man.
For
I was
sure.
like, oh,
hard as a rock.
Oh.
But I watched an Instagram video. A gentleman, he does assessments of how much they're worth and that kind of thing. Everybody has that dream. But he had a little twist on cards. And I almost hesitate to even say it, but
go ahead.
He
why have we ever hesitated before?
Yeah, really.
There it is.
He has looked at, I don't know how many they make every season, but he's looked at decades worth of cards.
Right.
Different pictures. Some of them are photos. Some of them are paintings, whatever it might be.
Some of them went in the spokes of his bicycle.
Yes.
Yeah.
He picked out, I think it was the top 10 dumbest faces on baseball cards.
Okay.
And,
goofy looks.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And you could see in each one of these cards why he selected that. It was so clear. And it sort of broke my heart a little bit. One of them was Brooks Robinson.
Oh, no.
Yes.
You never put it. No.
I'm going to say he did look kind of dopey.
Did he really?
Yes.
Somebody caught him in a bad moment.
Well, and you know what? I don't even think it was a photo. That's the thing that kind of like.
Well,
wait
you know,
a
if you
second.
got the Topps baseball cards, they always had good pictures. Then you got some of these other phony cards, and they like goofy and you can say, and every now and then you would get something like that. But yeah, Brooks was. You could hear the angels singing because
Is that right?
Brooks' statue's right outside of our door here. For heaven's sake, we're on Brooks Robinson Plaza. You can't say Goofy and Brooks. By the way, coming back just to Henry Aaron for a moment.
Yes.
He was so fundamentally elite. You know, he had some of the great nicknames. You know, Hammer and Hank Aaron. But one of my favorite was Bad Henry Aaron. I mean, Henry Aaron was a super gentleman. That is kind of a goofy-looking card,
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you just showed me that card.
Is that a photo or is it a painting?
No, it looks like a caricature, kind of. But
anyway.
Henry Aaron was so fundamentally elite at every aspect of the game. I mean, it often overshadowed his home run records. Maybe why I didn't get credit for it, but he hit for high average. Mm-hmm. He stole bases. He won Gold Gloves. He holds the all-time Major League Baseball record for career total bases at 6,856 and RBIs at 2,297. So, I mean, Henry Aaron was unbelievable. Maybe he was just too all-round good to really get the kind of notoriety that he should have over that time. Seth Leonard had got a little notoriety this year. He's the head coach of the Central Dauphin Rams, and they won the 6A, the big school state championship this year. I know he still finds it hard to believe. I know what that feels like. But I'll tell you what, he's here in our studio today, and he's going to tell you about what he's doing this summer to bring basketball and a whole lot of other stuff to York in late August with some other people. He'll be with us next, right here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOIK, all brought to you this hour by York Computer, York Digital Bodyguard. Your digital bodyguard, rather. They do managed IT and security services, flat rate managed IT services, 24/7 monitoring, cybersecurity. They are the ones that I take care of dealing with every month, so they kind of keep an eye on my digital back door. And they are local, monthly rate, no surprises, based right here in York. York Computer. You can check them out at yorkcomputer.net right now because it feels good to have peace of mind. Back with Seth Leonard right after this on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK. Welcome back to the Gary Sutton Show here on WOYK. We're doing a little video here with Coach Seth Leonard. Coach Seth Leonard from York. He's been a Yorker his whole life, pretty much. He's played basketball here. He coached at Susquehanna High School. This past year, he took a Central Dauphin job. And in his first year, all he did was win the state championship for 6A. Piece of cake. He had great kids, I know, and he'll be the first to tell you that. But Seth Leonard with us here this morning, the Gary Sutton Show. Coach, great to have you aboard. How you doing?
Doing great. I'll take a slice of that cake anytime. Like most others, to go ahead and do that, you need some magic. You need a great group. You need a good school district, and hopefully a good coach. And I think that we were a perfect fit for that job that we did in Central Dauphin. And forever grateful for the opportunity of that district, but more so for the kids. It's exciting to see them get things that, most people say you can't.
I had a chance to watch your team during the course of the season develop. I saw you win the Mid-Penn Championship on a final call.
Oh, man.
It was a great one. We did that on TV. And then I had a chance to watch your team during the year. I knew some of the kids on your team. You had a great bunch. Oh, yeah. You talked a lot. You and I met the other week up in Mount Union, Pennsylvania, a little place called Checkers Grill out of the Clear Blue. But, it was interesting. You talked about the spiritual side of things and talk with your kids. And a lot of people say, well, how do you do that in a public school education today? But you're a spiritual guy. And
oh, my goodness.
Tell people how you kind of infuse some of that and talk with your kids about things like that.
Well, I'm a faith guy. I like to call myself a spiritual scientist, and why is why and what is what. But my parents did an amazing job, Marshall and Darlene Leonard, of ingraining that in me since I was young. And the Lord just kind of placed some gifts with me to help people to believe they can accomplish things more than they can.
Yeah.
And some of that came through doubts, and some of that came through people sharing with me that you couldn't do this, but God says he can do all things through Christ who strengthens them. And that introduction to sharing my spiritual aspect side of them and the faith that I like to say, I haven't mastered it, but I'm definitely a faith scholar. And I've had some success with it. And, do you need a grain, a mustard seed to go ahead and do remarkable things, as the word says? But they introduced their faith to me. I walked in and we had a few open gyms. And on the first open gym, they look around as if they had to approve for it. And then they went into the serenity prayer. And I was like, oh, my goodness. These kids have what it takes. They were comfortable being leaders in an unfamiliar situation, and that just talks about that group. You could talk about the state, the districts, the league, but I'm telling you, that day right there, they won me, and I was quiet and I observed, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be able to teach faith here.
I've often posited that talent wins games, but character wins championships. And I think spiritual character is part of that as well. What you believe in, or having the humbleness to believe in something greater than yourself. That character thing. Talent wins a lot of games, but when it comes to that big moment, character is going to take you over the top. And I think you'd probably agree with me on that.
Yeah, and the community, the parents, the school district gets the win of shaping those young men. But one of the greatest gifts that I get is that we've done something that most people, you know how hard it is.
Yes.
You won 2 state championships, and it takes some magic, but that magic being ingrained in faith gives you a little bit of favor. When you really believe that the work was already finished, and you have that Hebrews 11:1, now faith is the substance of things hoped for. We're saying that we're going to accomplish these things, but without works, faith is dead. You got to put some action to it. So now faith being the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen is something that we had to walk into. And over the course of the season, whether our record shows that it was easy or strenuous, we had growing opportunities and sometimes growing pains. But you can see that team believed exactly what they sought out to accomplish at different parts of the season. And that last game, it was just eccentric to see the crowd and the people that were tuning in. I've heard about some people in Arizona watching it even. And so I think that faith was something that they may have mastered on a small scale on this year, and it's going to open up them to win on bigger scales and being better husbands, uncles, providers, and on the workforce.
The real important game.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
You know, it's interesting, and you just kind of hit on something that, and I've thought about this at 45 years. I had a chance to coach, and you look back, and people don't realize the moments you get to see during the season where a player, a young student, a student athlete is at a moment where they can do it or they can't do it.
Oh, man.
And you see him come over the top, or you see him believe at a moment where they didn't believe before. You cannot. That's invaluable to any coach, I would think. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, one of my biggest ministries is being able to see players and people where they're at, but envision where they can be at. And not just utilizing their gifts, but helping their gifts to exponentially grow. And that happens through struggle. I think about that last play with a Jelani Easter.
Yeah.
He's a kid, great kid, amazing student, leader of leaders. Like, he does the reps the way that you want, not just the first time, but the last time, you know. And so when he ends that play that way, there was a belief system that, you know, he shies away from contact, which might have been apparent in times past, that he doesn't rise above the rim like he can. And he rose above the occasion, and he was prepared for that moment. So success is not something that you get, it's something that you attract. He attracted that success for that very moment, which goes back further than this season. You know, he might have been preparing for that moment his whole life, and now he's forever changed, and he always will rise above to that occasion. And I was happy for him to finish it that way. But we had an amazing group. You talk about the Starling brothers, Jackson Davenport, who was a senior leader that he didn't compromise. He willingly helped out our team to get better by allowing the younger Starling to, you know, show what his gifts were to the world. But very important. There's so many guys on that team that, you know, the stories, we could be here all day. But I tell you what, when you're talking about people becoming something that they're not, that was what happened this year.
Well, you know, I watched Jelani Easter, and I've done basketball on TV up in the Mid-Penn area for a number of years, and we did a lot of Central Dauphin games. And Jelani Easter feels like he's played for Central Dauphin for about 20 years. But
yeah, that's what I heard.
But he's a great kid. But he was a guy that you'd see him start a play strong, finish weak, and he wouldn't finalize.
Yeah.
And so I think I told you when we had breakfast for you, these guys said to watch him finish a play like that and be a real finisher. It talked about growth. And you say, well, that's just a basketball thing. Well, it is, but for coaches, you know what goes into that growth. That's not something that happens all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And there he was. You put the ball in his hands for who wants the ball in their hands for the final play that's going to determine the state championship? And there he is in that moment.
You got to talk about Starling as well. Starling,
yes.
He was coming to the ball in the formation that we wanted to run, and it was almost like it was the perfect moment in not just senior leadership, but you can be a leader from every position on our court. And he willingly trusts his teammate enough when he was the guy. He was the guy for us
like
this
30
year.
points in the game.
Oh,
Or
my
close to
goodness. And a year before that, I think he might have scored close to 200 or maybe less points than that.
Yes.
And so to see him grow to that point, but he willingly allowed and trusted his teammate. And we talk about doing life together, going by two, you know, where one can take 1,000 fight, two can take 10,000 is what the scripture says, and it's a powerful word. And he believed his teammate. And
there it is.
When Jelani went there, he fully trusted that he was going to make that play, and that's what it takes. It's about teamwork. Teamwork definitely makes that dream work, and that was a dream that I could relive, you know, for every night, you know, to the next season, that is.
Take that now and infuse that into what you're doing now with Live. What you're going to be doing now at the end of August, because now you're involved right here, and I believe it's going to come up around August 11th or 12th, with a belief in, you know, people don't have to take their lives. People don't have to think that's the worst moment, and you're doing it with basketball. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, basketball is an attraction, too. It has been for me for a while. It's been something that I've been able to do a lot of ministry with. But there's gifts and something about, you know, York, PA, and Central PA that just brings the community together through basketball. So who doesn't love a good game? We're going to be able to impact some youth with that. But the problem that I was not aware came from a friend of mine, Jeff Packard. He was talking with another associate, a good friend, Alex Ka. And last summer, Alex was playing basketball with a young man that was on the park. He intended to go back and reach out to him, only to find out the next day this kid had went viral for taking his life. And he didn't think he had answers. He didn't think he had a reason to live. And Jeff Packard, a man who kind of spearheaded this movement, he was deeply impacted. He kept talking, York live, York live. I didn't know what it was, and he kept sharing with me this story. And then he shared with me, and it was almost like it was godlike. I'm going to get you this. I'm going to get you this information. I need your help. And I'm a servant leader. Anything that I can help out with in an industry that I think that God's leading me to, I'm going to always be a footman to help people. I like to call myself a help vehicle. And so eventually, after the season was over, I said, I know it's been busy. I know you have to be busy, because Jeff always gets me what he's going to say.
Right.
I said, here you go. Here's all the information you need. Here goes the promotion. Here goes the flyers. Here goes the registration form, only for him to pass it back to me and say, hey, we want to utilize, our company Kingdom Bound to help this event to happen.
Right.
But with York Live, we're believing that people can have life and have it more abundantly, and that there are pathways to say that you can have a better day. You can have a better future. There's no reason to take your life, and that, we win in God. And some of those tests that they're going through can be a lot of other people's testimony. And with York Live, August 12th to 15th, we're going to have leadership events here at a local park. We're going to be showing a movie that kind of gives information, and really just hoping that we save some lives through the pathway of being kind and giving the information and spirituality in Christ. Having life more abundantly.
We're going to come back and talk more about that. Also, a big event coming up at the end of August as well, and we'll get you some information on how to get hold of that. Coach, you can stick with us for one more segment?
Yes, for sure.
Coach Seth Leonard with us here this morning on the Gary Sutton Show. Back with more from him right after this. Welcome back to the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK Radio, the main street of York and York County, the voice of York and York County, live from Brooks Robinson Plaza right here at Wellspan Park. I don't know if Brooks played basketball, but if he'd have done that, he might have wanted to have Seth Leonard as the head coach. Seth Leonard here this morning with us, the head coach of Central Dauphin High School, the state champion of Pennsylvania here in 6A this year. And Seth, proudly a Yorker, always takes a Yorker to get these state championships done. See, that's what happens. And we kid about that, but a little humbly, we're humbly joking. But you were talking about this event coming up on August 12th to 15th, Seth, and this is a big one because it's going to help to deal with people who are, it's amazing when you think about, I get up this morning and I say, thank you, God, for a great day and all the possibilities. But some people, days you get up and it looks pretty bleak and it looks pretty dark out there for people. And, suicide is way too prevalent in this country right now. And that's something you're dealing with this whole basketball tournament.
Yeah, it's a cultural societal mechanism that we're facing on the daily basis when we're waking up. And like you said, sometimes it's harder for other people with life obstacles. I mean, they say if you're not in a problem, you just came from around the corner of a problem or you're
Right.
going into one. And sometimes it can be discouraging, especially if you don't have a support system around you that can give you truth and light and life and speak to the things that you can have. There's a study that they talked about. There was a plant. There was 2 plants, and you spoke hate words into that plant, and it died much quicker than that plant that you just said, I love you, I like you, you are so amazing. Wow. And words are spirits. And when people are going through life's issues, they need to have words that can be encouraging. And so with this event, it's going to be an amazing event just because it's going to be the community together. And, there's going to be diversity and there's going to be people that don't look like you that you can really encourage. But what we want to do is make sure that everyone has a word of encouragement and the people who really need it have answers. They have a pathway that they know that they don't have to take their lives. And it's something that as the weeks go on, I'm getting a little bit more passionate about that I didn't think I would be here. I'm just a basketball guy. And, I'll turn from a person who screens for people and helps you to get your threes into a coach and helping out youth. And now, I would, if you would have asked me this past season that we're going to be helping to save lives in this way, I would have never told you, but it's a problem that has been prevalent in York for the last 10 years. The numbers are alarming. A little bit over 600 people have took their lives because of those same things, those self-doubt thoughts. And so we want to help people to go ahead and have pathways to better living.
And what could be greater than saving lives? That's, and people ask about, basketball? Yeah. There are a lot of different vehicles that we use, but whatever connects with people, and you can connect with a lot of youth here in York through that medium, through basketball, and people, they'll listen a little bit more acutely rather than pass on by. And I think that's one of the things that you're trying to do here, August 12th to 15th, right?
Yeah, so we'll have events August 12th through 15th for different age groups, 3rd and 4th on Wednesday, 5th and 6th on Thursday, and then Friday, 7th and 8th. And then we'll have a high school and adult competitive group on Saturday morning for people to have an outlet. That's healthy living. It helps you to feel better. But the environment, I really think, is going to be ingrained with men and women that really want people to win. And if people have problems, whether it is the self-doubt of trying to take your life or any other problem, we're going to be doing back-to-school drives, handing out shoes, giving out haircuts. So it'd be an amazing family event with the benefits of having a resource to help out hopefully hundreds of individuals that might just pass through that park.
And you'll have information for people during that time. I'm assuming mentors there as well who are going to be helping to guide kids and maybe talk about some of these tough issues, right?
Yeah, we're looking for organizations to help out with their resources, their information, organizations to help out to serve, obviously arts and crafts and good music. But we really want to give the biblical knowledge that helps people to solve the problem that it's not just suicide, that they can have life abundantly.
Feeling better about themselves, living every day, looking at an opportunity and saying, I'm living a lifetime today and I've been blessed with all these possibilities, right?
Sometimes that's just having peace.
Yeah.
And not torment. And we think we have the answers through that. And I know that, my faith has been rooted in a lot of getting through tough times. So we want to give information on how people can have that and make sure that those numbers come down. We're going to cancel the assignment right now in York that people think that they have to resort to taking their lives and that they can't have those peaceful days.
I know one of the things we want to do on our show is raise up York and York County, York City and York County. They're all one. And make sure that people have opportunities, that everybody has an opportunity to live a good life. And as you said, some days just have peace or maybe be able to take advantage of some of the opportunities that are out there that maybe they're not able to take up right now for a variety of reasons. But Kingdom Abounds is the name of your organization. And to talk about where people can go to get involved in this, maybe as volunteers, maybe helping out, maybe just knowing about the event itself.
So you can like Kingdom Abound on Facebook. You can follow it on Instagram. Those are good platforms that you can get the information. It's going to be blasting out here on some of our sister organizations, the Jack and Jill Summer Camp, where we have been for nearing a decade now, sponsoring a good bit of youth from York County, not just York City, to go ahead and give them those success principles that they need. And that's one of the organizations that are going to be, spearheading this. But go to Kingdom Abound on Facebook or Instagram, or you can get in touch with me on my email, cdboyshoopsleonard@gmail.com. Again, that's cdboyshoopsleonard@gmail.com, and we'll be glad to get you guys the information on how to register for the event, whether it's you're playing or you have kids that are playing or whether you want to volunteer as an organization.
Give that email one more time, Coach.
Okay, that's cdboyshoopsleonard@gmail.com. cdboyshooopsleonard@gmail.com.
And a chance to help out kids in the community, a chance to watch some great basketball, a chance to just be around goodness. And that's what we're all about. And cdboyshoopsleonard@gmail.com or Kingdom Abound on Facebook. Check it out. Coach, it's been an honor having you in the studio today. Thank you for taking the time, and we look forward to it again very soon.
We love this show. You're doing awesome work. Thanks for having me.
And we'll look forward to seeing you on August 12th to 15th. Going to be some good stuff happening here in York. There's always good stuff happening in York. We just need to go find it sometimes, right? You need to go find it. It's like I'm reminded of... what's that? Bagger Vance was the movie, and he said, I lost my swing. He said, well, you got to go find it.
I love that. Will Smith.
There you go. Sometimes you got to go find the goodness, right? Amidst the darkness that people tend to see and look and gravitate towards, sometimes you don't have to do that. You can always find the light out there somewhere, and it's a lot of it here in York and York County. So proud of that. So proud of you, Coach, and what you were able to do this year with CD. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Coach Seth Leonard here this morning on the Gary Sutton Show. Mark, any final thoughts this morning?
It's national. It's not macaroni and cheese day.
You're still pondering that, aren't you?
Mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to figure out.
Did it out of a box? I still can't even.
There's no way I'm eating it. Nor I like to share the holidays.
Gotcha.
I'm not doing that today.
No. There you go. Well, let's see. York Revolution back in town tonight. A 6-game series. They'll start with Staten Island this evening. 6:10 airtime, 6:30 first pitch. Come on out here to the stadium. You can check them out at Shipley Box Office, Ticket Office, and get your tickets or go to YorkRevolution.com. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks to Coach Leonard for stopping by our studio. We've had a great time. This is the Gary Sutton Show. It is 9 o'clock.